let's pay our taxes.
Let's pay our taxes. The LRA says, let's pay our taxes. Let's pay our taxes.
This is the visual that speaks all about the current challenge being faced by multinationals, including all Liberian taxpayers, as regards paying their fair share of lawful revenues into government coffers. Pay your tax today. Get Liberia up, comparable to any other place like you see here on the face of the globe.
Pay your taxes, Mommy Kante business people. Pay your taxes, Maserado business people. Pay your taxes, Mahagiri business people. Pay your taxes, Rewa Sand business people. Pay your taxes, Rewa G business people. Pay your taxes, Ekuta Payo, there's a good selling.
Many Liberians spoken with on this program are literally asserting that these poverty-stricken communities can be transformed into modern ones with sophisticated skyscrapers, cross-country railroads, and bridges along with paved roads, as well as good health facilities and schools. These, our taxpayers say, can be done just by everybody committing to paying their fair share of lawful revenues into government's coffers. This is the topic under discussion right here on this program, Tax Talk. Tax Talk, presentation by the Liberia Revenue Authority, the LRA, and I'm Alvin Jask with it. Thanks so much for joining us. You're welcome.
If we pay our fair share of revenue, we will get energy, we will get electricity, we will get water. You know, our schools will be built, our clinic will be built, our hospital will be built. You know, we will get roads going to our home. I'm from Swimmaker District. If I pay my taxes, road will go to Swimmaker District. If you're from Bokonjide or Grand Cru County or maybe Zweju, Grand Jide County, there will be a modern paved road, a university being built there.
Let's begin with some of our best financial experts when it comes to tax administration in Liberia. The president of Liberia, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, she's discussing raising states-owned funding. Domestic resource mobilization for government support, maintaining public facilities and services instituted for the well-being of Liberians living across the 43,000 square mile of this country.
Clearly, official development assistance will at some point decline and maybe end. We have to be able to raise the revenue ourselves. To do so, however, we have to grow the economy. The ultimate objective is, of course, to increase domestic revenue so that we are in the position to finance our reconstruction on our own.
The Commissioner General at the LRA, Madam Elfrida Stewart Tamba, is very keen to Liberia when it comes to paying lawful revenues to Mama Liberia.
We want to work collaboratively with the multinationals, but at the same time, we want and we expect them to pay their own fair share of lawful revenues to the people of Liberia.
The Liberian leader, President Sirleaf, and the Commissioner General, Elfrida Stewart Tamba, both discussing your own commitment to paying your lawful revenues into government coffers. Let's move now into those pertinent issues like what the taxes you pay do for you and your country.
I say thanks to the government, and for some of us who are in Cinco, I think we started to feel the better impact of the government, and when you work and you drive smoothly, you feel comfortable and it's nice.
At the moment, massive road construction is going on within Monrovia and outside of Monrovia as well.
Samuel Conan from Public Works. Yeah. Wow, you should be one of the supervisor or the engineer?
Of course, yeah, the site engineer, the project engineer.
So different layers of work, what you guys are doing?
Well, we're actually trying to do connection of asphalt pavement in Central Monrovia, more especially when it comes to Cinco Street.
Okay.
So what happened here right now is we're doing 2 layers. One is the base course, which is 8 inches thick, and then we get the asphalt concrete pavement, which we refer to normally as the quota, but actually the asphalt pavement.
Okay.
And that's the asphalt material they are using. So right now, if you see like what is going on right here, they are doing the feed density test. So that we know the moisture content that will be in the subgrade, will be in the base course. Because the one you refer to as the board for the layman to understand the gravel, what have you, the real is what we refer to as the sub-base. So the how you call it, the clutch rod for the layman to understand, but the technical jargon for it is the base course, which we refer to as the clutch rod. So that would be 8 inches thick. So that's what we're trying to verify. And then before they do the priming, because you got to prime the what you call the quota water, we'll do the prime coat. So after 24 hours, depending on the type of prime coat they're using, then before they can bring the asphalt.
These are money coming from the hard-earned tax that you pay. The schools we see around, the hospitals, the infrastructure development is just great for all in the country if you pay your fair share. Looking at this city as it is, will grow to be one with cutting-edge and sophisticated skyscrapers that you can boast of if you pay your fair share of revenues into government's coffers. From Cinco in Monrovia, you see streets being laid out, and then individuals who are benefiting from these roads have themselves been discussing with us how good it is for government to cater for them in developing the communities they live in today.
This government have done our best. We the motorcyclists can never say that. Ma Eddie, Mama of Liberia, Madam Eddie Johnson Sally, President of the Republic of Liberia, have not done well. She have done extremely well for our country and for Mama Liberia.
Yeah, I have seen your changes on 12th Street today. Yeah, since I was small, I've been on 12th Street.
So you've been small like a little boy?
Yeah, a little boy. I haven't seen a development like this. At least the government of Liberia is doing something for us to do.
LRA says, let's pay our taxes.
If we pay our fair share of revenue, we will get energy, we will get electricity, we will get water. You know, our schools will be built, our clinic will be built, our hospital will be built. You know, we will get roads going to our home. I'm from Swimmaker District. If I pay my taxes, road will go to Swimmaker District. If you're from Bokonjide or Grand Cru County or maybe Zwedru, Grand Jide County, there will be a modern paved road, a university being built there.
Compliance measures to get people to pay their due taxes to the government. What should you say towards that when it comes to putting the law into effect?
I think non-compliance should be punishable. You know, there's certain things that we have to understand that what Big State for the mentioned right as people and citizens. Let's look at the other countries. There's no country that is a utopia. Everything that is done here, it has to do with what you put in there to get out. You know, and then the taxes that you pay are the same taxes that the government uses to improve your livelihood. So I think it's just important that the people comply to that level.
When it comes to revenue and taxes, what the citizens should do to keep it going for the benefit of the country?
It is important. Without revenue and taxes, it becomes very difficult for government to improve the life of the citizen. One, without taxes, there can be no development. If you do not pay your taxes, say for instance, right now we have a challenge with roads and different other challenges that this government is faced with. If we pay our taxes, it means that we are telling government, you are responsible to us, especially when it comes to the social contract theory that the government has with what? The citizens. So without taxes, it becomes like, let's say the government will become what? Handicapped. And so government cannot in any way improve the lives of the people in the country.
There we have the LRA, Liberia Revenue Authority. What have you to say to them with respect to taxes and revenue?
We agree that the LRA is responsible to collect lawful taxes in Liberia, meaning it is a statutory mandate as provided by the House of the Legislatures. Again, in my mind, the effectiveness of LRA and the response from the citizens is also necessary. If LRA is effective and the citizens agreed to pay their taxes, that will help our country. Nevertheless, it is also important, it is incumbent upon the government that if taxes are paid, development must take place in an effect wherein people pay their taxes and the tangibles are not seen. It discourages the citizens from paying.
In order for the government to run, they need money, and government will get the money through taxes, where people pay various kinds of tax to the government, and the government use it to develop the country. The schools you see around, the hospitals you see around, the bridges, the road you want, government need to build them, and they can't build them with all the taxes. They need to collect the taxes to be able to build those roads and those schools. They also need taxes to pay the workers who are working for the government, civil servants. Government need to also raise taxes to be able to pay the workers.
So what should be the responsibility of the citizens and residents of the country?
Every citizen of a country should be able to pay the taxes. You want your government to run, you want the government to do certain things for you, you want them to meet your basic needs. In order for them to meet those needs, you have to pay taxes, because you're in the country, the government providing security for you, they're providing your basic needs, and they need to run. So in order for that, you have to pay your taxes to the government.
People seem not to know that. The culture is not embedded yet in Liberia. You think so?
Of course. What I think LRA need to do right now is to get on their feet and need some guys who will go around and educate the people on paying the taxes. Most of the people in Liberia are not used to paying taxes. So when you introduce, especially when you talk about maybe you want to introduce horse-to-horse taxes, and then every citizen has to pay tax, people will complain. People will even go to demonstrate because they are not educated on paying taxes. So I think LRA need to get on their feet now to educate the citizen on paying the taxes.
Vani Sanko.
The LRA, the government heartbeat when speaking to revenue generation for Liberia, as it stands, was established by law. Taxpayers are of great concern to the LRA. As such, there is a taxpayer advocate service now in motion. They are there to speak for you and stand as a voice at the LRA. Minnie Pega Kalong is the current acting head of the Taxpayer Advocate Service Division at the LRA.
The only thing will encourage me to pay taxes to government all of the time is that when I come to pay my $5, if I still get a pen from you, let me get a pen and on time.
Taxpayer Advocate Service is to assist taxpayers so that everything that you do, all of your processing can be done in a timely and efficient manner. If you want to benefit from this service, if you want us to help you to resolve your problems, we have several means of contact. We have our brochure out with frequently asked questions in another brochure to just explain, what the Taxpayer Advocate Service is all about. At the back of our brochure, we have our telephone numbers, our direct contact. We have a telephone for the Taxpayer Advocate Office. We have a cell phone and a Lone Star number. You can either call or text either of these numbers. Or at the bottom of the brochure, we have our call center at the LRA too. You can call the call center and they will transfer the call directly to us. Or you can reach our office by email. The email address is also on the brochure. It's Taxpayer Advocate Service at LRA.gov.lr. Or better still, you can come at our office at LRA Junction right across from here on the 4th floor. You can come there and request, for our service.
So in the upper left corner, you see 911. We can arrange that.
Okay.
You see 911. We need this phone 911 because probably if you are faced with a situation, you are requesting our assistant. It will be in a form of emergency or something that we have to speak there, intervene. And then in the upper right corner, you see area of concern. If the issue is with custom, you should be able to indicate it. If it's with domestic tax or what else section it is, here we got a tax division. You should be able to state clearly whether it's with custom, with domestic tax or whatever. And then we will require that you will have to write your name clearly and then indicate your taxpayer identification number. The city, maybe some people out of town like Banga, Kakata and the rest of it, the city should be indicated. The county should be indicated. The country, if also Liberia, because we have some of our taxpayers, they can call from all around the world. This form has been uploaded to our website too. So probably for some of you that have access to internet or whatever, you can easily access our form, at our website. And then the section 2 says you should clearly tell all the problems you are facing. It should be clearly stated on the form. If the column here is very small, you could write out the back of our form. We'll say how to turn it over and go through it. And 2B to that say you should also be clear with the description of the assistant that you are requesting the taxpayer advocate service to provide. So you should be clear with that. And the last portion for taxpayer here says you should write your name clearly, you sign this form, and then put a date, the month, and the year, so that you can run out this, form valid for us to act on it.
You're talking about engaging. You said before you come to you should have engaging to certain criteria, but you didn't go ahead and name what kind of criteria that you want the businesses to engage in before coming to set criteria.
Business, if the LRA has made a decision that will affect you or your business, then you can come to us and request taxpayer advocate service. And then the second question, yes. If, for example, you have customs issue, you should try to resolve that issue with the relevant department, the divisions. You have tax clearance issue, you must first request for tax clearance. You should go through, submit all of the relevant documents that you're supposed to submit. You wait for 3 to 5 days. After the 3 to 5 days, if you are compliant, if you pay all of your taxes, you up to date with all of your taxes, if you submitted all of your documents to the tax clearance center, then it is even with all of that, and after the 3 to 5 days, you still not getting your tax clearance, then you can come to us. That we will come in, because we don't want a situation where taxpayers will just not go through the process and they come straight to us and think we are just here to help you do what you are supposed to do.
For the fact that you have your container and we have a situation at the port right now, we have 5 days grace period to clear a container. And you can't just strike a problem like that. You cannot afford to leave the processing of your container to come to the advocacy because they have given you additional assessment. They can afford 4%. The custom people do not even want to establish whether you are a taxpayer that have already paid your tax. 4% on your gross sales and all that kind of stuff. All the money.
The reason why I'm saying you shouldn't pay the 4%, for so long to stop some ills in the society, if you're not satisfied with certain things, and you show within yourself that it should not be that way, I think sometimes it's good to go and follow up. So if you follow up and you know what you pay the 4% for and whether you should not get a receipt, you will know all that.
The Liberia Revenue Authority, in furtherance of its mandate to administer tax in Liberia, has established at its headquarters what it calls the Taxpayer Advocate Service, TPAS.
The intent of this service is to bridge the gap between taxpayers and the LRA. We will be serving as the voice of taxpayers in the LRA, ensuring that our taxpayers know their rights and that their rights are protected.
Meaning Pega Kalon, the current head of advocacy at the Liberia Revenue Authority, with her team of caseworkers and protest managers visiting with taxpayers at the different service windows established by the Liberia Revenue Authority.
The only thing will encourage me to pay taxes to government all of the time is that when I come to pay my $5, if I say get a pen from you, let me get a pen and on time.
The essence of the Taxpayer Advocate Service is to assist taxpayers so that everything that you do, all of your processing can be done in a timely and efficient manner. If you want to benefit from this service, if you want us to help you to resolve your problems, we have several means of contact. We have our brochure out with frequently asked questions in another brochure to just explain, what the Taxpayer Advocate Service is all about. At the back of our brochure, we have our telephone numbers, our direct contact. We have a telephone for the Taxpayer Advocate Office. We have a cell code and a Lone Star number. You can either call or text either of these numbers. Or at the bottom of the brochure, we have our call center at the LRA too. You can call the call center and they will transfer the call directly to us. Or you can reach our office by email. The email address is also on the brochure. It's Taxpayer Advocate Service at LRA.gov.lr. Or better still, you can come at our office at URW Junction right across from here on the 4th floor. You can come there and request, for our service.
So in the upper left corner, you see 911.
We can arrange that.
Okay. You see 911. We need this phone 911 because probably if you are faced with a situation, you are requesting our assistant. It will be in a form of emergency or something that we have to speedily intervene. And then in the upper right corner, you see area of concern. If the issue is with custom, you should be able to indicate it. If it's with domestic tax or what else section it is, here we got a tax division. You should be able to state clearly whether it's with custom, with domestic tax or whatever. And then we will require that you will have to write your name clearly and then indicate your taxpayer identification number. The city, maybe some people out of town like Banga, Kakata, and the rest of it, the city should be indicated, the county should be indicated, the country, if also Liberia, because we have some of our taxpayers, they can call from all around the world. This form has been uploaded to our website too, so probably for some of you that have access to internet or whatever, you can easily access our form, at our website. And then the section 2 says you should clearly tell all the problem you are facing. It should be clearly stated on the form. If the colon here is very small, you could write at the back of our form. We'll say how to turn it over and go through it. And B2B to that say you should also be clear with the description of the assistance that you are requesting the Taxpayer Advocate Service to provide. So you should be clear with that. And the last portion for taxpayer says you should write your name clearly, you sign this form, and then put a date, a month, and a year, so that you can run this, form valid for us to act on it.
You're talking about engaging. You said before you come to you should have engaging to certain criteria, but you didn't go ahead and name what kind of criteria that you want the businesses to engage before coming to the criteria.
Or with the business, if the LRA has made a decision that will affect you or your business, then you can come to us and request Taxpayer Advocate Service. And then the second question. Yes. If, for example, you have customs issue, you should try to resolve that issue with the relevant department, the divisions. You have tax clearance issue, you must first request for tax clearance. You should go through, submit all of the relevant documents that you're supposed to submit. You wait for 3 to 5 days. After the 3 to 5 days, if you are compliant, if you pay all of your taxes, you up to date with all of your taxes, if you submitted all of your documents to the tax clearance center, then it is even with all of that, and after the 3 to 5 days you still not getting your tax clearance, then you can come to us. That we will come in, because we don't want a situation where taxpayers will just not go through the process and then come straight to us and think we are just here to help you do what you are supposed to do.
For the fact that you have a container and we have a situation at the port right now, we have 5 days grace period to clear a container. And you can't strike a problem like that. You cannot afford to leave the processing of your container to come to the advocacy because they have given you additional assessment. They can afford 4%. They question people, they don't even want to establish whether you are a taxpayer that have already paid your tax. 4% on your gross sales and all that kind of stuff. All the money
the reason why I'm saying you shouldn't pay the 4%, you know, for so long to stop some ills in the society, if you're not satisfied with certain things, and you show within yourself that it should not be that way, I think sometimes it's good to go and follow up. So if you follow up and you know what you pay the 4% for and whether you should not get a receipt, you will know all that.
A taxpayer advocate service at the LRA is just one of many trade facilitation and better customer service when it comes to tax administration in Liberia. Minnie Pega-Callon and her case workers, along with other team members, are going to be out and about, standing and staying with taxpayer every step by the way in addressing issues. This is Tax Talk, a presentation of the Liberia Revenue Authority, LRA. It comes on this station every Monday at 8:30 p.m. and every Friday at 8:30 p.m. Tax Talk will be back with another edition pretty soon. Thanks to everybody who contributed to this presentation, from the Communications, Media and Public Affairs section of the LRA and the Taxpayer Service Division as well. And this has been Alvin Jask. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.